conference will now be recorded.
There we go.
Good morning. Seems like open the meeting of the Harwich Cemetery Commission. Have to read that thing?
Yes.
Oh, good. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law number 3018 at the governor's March 15, 20 meeting order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in any place. This meeting of the Town of Harwich Cemetery Commission on today, April 6, 2021 at 8 a.m. will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we aren't able to do so, despite best efforts, we will post to the town's website an audio video recording of the transcript.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay. Lost my place in the middle of that one. Haven't had coffee yet. Okay. You got an email from Wendy Tullock?
Yeah, I get those emails every single month, and she just keeps us updated on our account balances, and I feel that I should put them in the package just so you guys can review them. It just goes over everything from my salary and wages, the water utilities, and then the revolving account separated. At the end of this, which was on, I believe, right, is this the latest one? Yeah, on the March the 1st, the balance was $102,642.33. Since then, I've sold a whole bunch of lots, so it's got a little bit more in there at this time. So at the next meeting that we have, I'm going to give you guys a breakdown, which shows how much we've spent, how much we've taken in, so that not on these sheets, but on my Excel spreadsheets, because I think it's easier for you guys to see it in that format. I think when you read it on the side, sometimes it could be distracting for you guys. So I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I got to turn the computer sideways, one or the other.
Sometimes that can be a little difficult. So I did receive an email from Susan. She's in charge of ARBNet, the accreditation with our certificate, which he addressed to Larry Ballantyne, because he is our chair of the Board of Selectmen. So I forwarded this on to Larry, and he emailed me back last night and asked Joe that it could be put on the Board of Selectmen agenda for the 12th, May 12th agenda. So when they put it on there, I think we should also have our brochures finished. So we have two events that are coming up for the Arboretum property. One is going to be with AmeriCorps, and that's on a Friday, May 21st. And all the AmeriCorps members who have worked in the Arboretum property are going to be stationed at different areas of the Arboretum and explaining to the people, what different projects they've done, what trees are there, all about what their species are. And so we'll be socially distancing for them. People would have to come in groups, and then we will walk them through. So it's kind of like a day-long event. And then we have on June 9th is our annual tree tour. Again, we'll be socially distancing. I'll reach out to our Board of Health, and that is from 11 to 1. So I'll have those brochures, probably a rough draft for our next meeting for you guys to go over and see if there's anything you guys want to change or add to that.
Okay.
I also have a lot of the women from the garden club have asked to volunteer for the tree tour day, which is a Wednesday, and they would love to participate. So I think there's 10 of them in total that would like to also talk about the different gardens and stuff that we have going on there.
Cool.
Great.
And then we get from Patty Moore.
Yes,
Scattering ashes.
So Patty is the secretary to the Board of Selectmen, and she had somebody called and asked about scattering of ashes on the beach. So she called me and she's like, is there any rules and regulations in your, for the town, for the cemeteries for scattering? And I said, no. So I pulled up the Massachusetts one. So I wanted to include it in your package just so you guys have it. I know at one point we were talking, and hopefully we can continue that discussion on having potentially a scattering garden in Island Pond in the way back where we're having that wildlife garden. So it's all native species in the back there. And that would be a nice place, I think, if we were to have a scattering garden where people could, have a little service for themselves if they don't want to be buried. So I figured I'd include those in the rules and regulations just so you have them, because we could add something to that on our rules and regulations of the cemetery. Because we really don't want,
do something on that line.
yeah, we probably don't want people scattering ashes just randomly. Sometimes all the ashes aren't ash, so you want to make sure that they have an area that is proper for them to go.
Mhm.
I got an email from Emily Mylan. She is the assistant director over at Brooks Library. And we all had to do a little podcast for a town meeting. So if you guys want to go and listen to it, I put in the links, but it's not just me. Every single department did it. Police, fire. I think Emily did it for the Council on Aging. So I think it's a lot of information for people to know about for town meeting. And I think it's a good resource. Because we can't do any public meetings right now. So I think this is the way she was kind of having people be able to know what's going on before town meeting.
Okay, and then you got a sign from Don Fancy.
Yeah, so Don drafted a couple different things about Island Pond to see if you guys would be interested in the way it's laid out. I don't know if you had time to review it.
Mhm.
And at the top, it says Island Pond Cemetery, established in 1778, town of Harwich. And then it has a line underneath that, and it says the James G. Marceline Arboretum. So I don't know how you guys feel about having it all on one sign or having two signs. I don't know if we really want to clutter the entrance or how we want to, how you guys feel about that sign. Was everyone able to review the sign?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Any comments?
I would just probably keep the word arboretum smaller than the name of the main cemetery.
Yeah.
Just because we're not trying to change the name of the cemetery.
Okay, perfect.
Sure.
Perfect. Anything else?
One sign I think would be appropriate.
Yeah. And the other thing is so now it has she sent two different things in case we wanted to have these different scroll things at the top. Do you see them? So the
Now I
first,
see the difference. I couldn't tell the difference before.
and she also had it that the sign was, I think, hold on a minute. It had them at one point two-sided, but I don't know if this one is two-sided or not. Yeah, so see where it says double-sided sign? So the price is not going to be that much because I told her we only wanted this sign to be single-sided because when you drive directly into Island Pond, no one's going to see the back.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, on the back of this sign will probably be trees and vegetation that will be, kind of around it, not like right up to it, but you wouldn't be able to read it. So the price is going to change. So clearly we can't vote on this today. I can have her change the arboretum, word to be the exact same size font. And then I can come back at our next meeting at the end of the month with it smaller.
Okay.
That'd be good.
Oh.
I like the simpler brackets at the top.
I do. I like the simpler brackets too. How does, it's up to you guys, what you want me to. The simpler ones or it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Do we have to vote on that?
I think we should vote on it when we have a firm price.
Okay,
And that way, you know, we're all on the same page. If you guys don't mind, because our opening is on May 12th. I don't know if she'll have enough. I'll ask her how much lead time she has to do this, okay?
okay,
We might have to squeeze in just a quick 10-minute meeting for you guys to vote and approve it, the price. But I'll keep you posted on that.
all right. And then an email for the Harwich tour, Harwich?
Yeah, so Sheila House, I don't know if you know her. She is, she runs all the youth service stuff. She is the counselor for the town. She is doing a little tour for the children. It's like she's looking for 100 brochures. So it is on April the 10th. It is from 10 to noon, and it's called the Annual Family Fun Fair, and it's hosted by the Cape Cod Children's Place and Monomoy Early Childhood Education Center. And because of COVID, they were looking for events where kids could do things at their own leisure. So they're just picking up informational stuff. So I put in a couple different of our brochures for you guys just to look over. And I could probably call like Sir Speedy or somebody and have them printed, 100 of each. So I didn't know. So I have my original tree tour one, which I had done. And then Ashley updated it. And I don't know if you saw her version. And then the third one is the Veterans Bingo one, which I kind of absolutely want to do the Veterans Bingo one because I think we should start getting it out there. So on one side of the Veterans Bingo, I don't know if you've all seen this. So they have the wars listed and then the dates, and the kids have to draw a line from, so if they were at World War I, they would have to find when was World War I, and then they draw the line over. So the Civil War, when was the Civil War? So we had to update it because in the Vietnam War, we originally had 1960 to 1975, but I was told by Shawnee that it has to be 1964 to 1975 because that's when we actually started participating. So
Okay.
even though it was going on long before then and they had many conflicts before then, the United States wasn't in it until 1964. So on the second page of that, so what they would have to do is they would have to find the medallions, which I think you guys have seen this before. So they would have to find the medallions, and then they can do this in any single cemetery. So they would see a Korean War medallion and they could write, you know, what war it was and what veteran they found that actually fought in that. So it kind of gives the kids a way to identify the flag holders and actually learn a little bit more about the dates of the war. So I think that would be a great educational thing, you know, coming up. Memorial Day is coming very quickly. And I'm gonna update this and put this on our website, on the town website, so that people can download it and do it pretty much at any cemetery. So is there, you guys, I don't care what version we want to do about the tree tour at the Arboretum. Does anybody have a preference? No?
No, either one, they're about the same, aren't they?
Yeah, I think she put a little bit more information about,
The types of trees? Or,
yeah, I mean, she put a more of an introduction, I think, but it's still the same information in the center. It still has with the locations of the trees, which I'm going to be updating that as well because we have more trees now that are identified, and we're going to be getting a few more species coming up soon because we have that $20,000 that was spent at last year's town meeting. And when one of the tours that me and Ashley are working on, which is kind of a little exciting for us, I don't know how exciting it will be for you, but we're doing a Harry Potter themed scavenger hunt in Island Pond. All of the wands in Harry Potter Potter are made from different types of wood. So there's oak, there's Harry's is made out of holly. Some of them are made out of willow. So two of the trees that we are missing from the wand tour are a weeping willow tree and a walnut tree. So those are two trees that I'd like to purchase just to tie that all in. But I've always wanted a weeping willow, so I was kind of excited when that was on the tour. But I did take a tour over to Agway and look at the different trees. They have many different types of trees, and I'd love it if somebody wanted to go on a field trip with me. It would be so much fun. Amy Uzowski went with me to look at the trees. Because we have an account there, we get a different pricing than the public. So what I'll do is I will get the pricing on that. And I think we should make a decision sooner than later because we'll have to order them and then have them planted. I'm going to be working with the AmeriCorps kids to try to help plant, as well as maybe get some of the master gardeners to help us plant the trees, and the DPW as well. But we'll be planting them in Evergreen, Mount Pleasant, and in Island Pond. So I'm very excited about getting some new trees. I'm sure the town is as well, with all the trees that everyone lost everywhere. It's kind of nice to see them replanting.
Robin, when are you doing that scavenger hunt?
So as soon as we finish up the stuff, there's a stone right as you go in Island Pond that is the Harry P. It's a little boy who passed away.
Right.
And the minute Ashley saw it, she said, we should do a Harry Potter scavenger hunt.
Good idea.
And I said, oh, how would we do that? And then we started going around and looked at the different names of the characters that are in Harry Potter. And we have a Granger stone, and we have a whole bunch of other stuff. So I think it'll be interesting for the kids. Like, we'll have to say, what was Harry Potter's stone wand made out of? Can you find that tree? Or, you know, Hermione Granger's wand, or which, you know, well, I think it'll be interesting for kids and any visitors who come here this summer who are Harry Potter fans could, you know, we'll give it to the Chamber of Commerce, so Cindy can have it there. It's just a little fun thing that you can do whenever you want. You don't need to have a set time.
Okay. So you're not setting a date to do it at any one point?
Normally I would, Cindy, but I think with COVID restrictions still, I think at this point, I wouldn't mind doing it with small groups, but I'd be afraid if we advertised, we'd get a lot of people, and
Makes
I don't
sense.
know how they would socially distance at this point.
Good idea.
I can't wait till next year.
Hopefully
Hopefully we'll be back to normal.
And then we get the coverage for you when you're on vacation.
Yep, so you guys all knew what happened when I was on vacation. So originally, Megan was supposed to cover my office. She came in. I went over all the training with her on Thursday, and then on later on Thursday, I got an email back saying that she could not cover me because she was doing procurement Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I did have a lot of burials that week. I mean, burials have been very steady lately, unfortunately. So she did email over to Link, and some of the guys from the DPW were able to cover me. As you guys know, they asked if you guys could attend the funerals initially. And I just wanted to include your responses to that so that the public is aware. You know, it's a lot of stuff that you have to oversee, the proper placement of the lowering devices, as well as waiting for the whole services to be over, collecting the paperwork, which is a legal requirement by the state, and to sign off on certain areas of the death certificate, and then where the death certificate gets filed. And so I think was a lot more involved than they thought. And And that's where we're at. So I do have 4 more weeks of vacation that I need to take before the end of the year. So I'll be working with them to see if the DPW will be covering those weeks. I know that they as well have all their vacations that they have to take as well. So they're going to be short-staffed as well. So I'll keep you guys posted on how that works out. Normally what happens is I'll come in and do my funeral and then I'll take a half a day vacation. So last year, all of my vacation days were only half days because I had to come in, or it was very rare that I had 2 days off in a row. So I was fortunate that I got to go away
That's
for a
not
whole
right.
week.
That is not right. You need vacation,
Exactly.
not half a day here. Trust me, I just finished a job like that. You can't do half a day here, half a day there.
It
That's
does.
Vacation.
not,
You want.
I did get my new
oh,
cell
we're on
phone.
tape, so I'm saying it. You know, you need an assistant.
Yeah,
Really.
This office is not temporary, it's full-time.
Right.
5+ days a week.
Right.
Yep.
I think we should let the administration know that that's the way we feel. We would volunteer to cover for you if we were trained and we knew what we were doing, but we don't. And it's not fair to anybody to ask us to step in to do that without proper training and know what we're doing. And, you know, that's where you need somebody to back you up. You absolutely do. And it's time that they realize that. It's probably the first time they've really realized what happens when you're not there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the support. I just know that in this budget crisis, they just said, no way. So
Right.
I do realize we are in a budget crisis, but at some point, they're going to have to readdress it.
They definitely need to, and they need to be reminded of that you can't run the show, 24/7, 365. You need your vacation. You've earned it. You need to take it. And like Rob said, not a half a day here and there. That's not right. It's not right at all.
So the other thing that happened was when Megan was here, I was like, I'm going to give you my cell phone, but you have to keep it plugged in. And she said, why do you have to keep it plugged in? And I said, well, the battery will only last for about 3 hours and then it dies. So she said, she called over to Foster and said she needs a new phone. So I did get a new phone.
Good.
I can't believe the difference in pricing when you work for a municipality than when you buy it at, so I got an iPhone and it was like, I think it was $149. So
that's ridiculous.
so it comes out of, I have a budget for that, so that's going to be coming out of that. But Wendy pays all those bills and then we just reimburse her. So it's not going to be on your bill sheet. It just gets transferred after the fact. But I put it in there so that you guys know that I did get a new cell phone, and that was $149.99.
Well worth it.
Yeah, so it's amazing. I just charge it at nighttime, and now it works all day, and I don't have to worry about the bars getting low. But and it's an iPhone, which I've never had, so it was a little learning curve for me. All right, I'm gonna give you a little update on the CPC articles. So Dave Nixon from the CPC asked for legal opinion on the church property. So he wanted to find out about, could they work in there? I did give them all that information about when it was taken in not taken, but when we were authorized to maintain the cemetery in 1949, and how it went to town meeting, how it was passed in up at the State House originally, the act, and then how it was then passed at the town meeting. So they had all that information, and Sharon, who is the town attorney, did look it over, and she feels that that we should be able to work on it. I know that there is discrepancy. I know that Don Howell has voiced concerns that the town does not own it, and she thinks that the town does own it. I think we just own the rights to work, to maintain the burial part. Not that I'm an attorney. She's the attorney. So we're waiting for their legal opinion. If the legal opinion does not come back before town meeting, I honestly think that we should probably rescind the article. I just don't feel like if people have a lot of clouding over who has ownership or who can work there, that it probably will be a longer conversation and a lot of debate. And during COVID, I don't know that we want to have that go on. I think people will be upset that that we're continuing this conversation when we should try to make town meeting as short as possible. So I know that they should be coming back with legal opinion shortly. And if they do, then I say, and it's okay to move forward, but according to the act or the chapter 277, which was the one that was passed, if it doesn't stand on its own or needs more clarification, we could maybe just hold it and then resubmit it for next year. But I mean, I think it's already gone through all the process, so maybe we should just give it another week. But at our next meeting, which is before town meeting, I feel like if we don't have an answer, I think the responsible thing to do might be to pull that article.
Law for a while.
Yeah.
That's
So
the
you
East
have to
Harwich.
do the whole application process again?
Well, the application itself is completely finished. I would have to go out and rebid it because the quote wouldn't be valid technically. But I don't know how you guys feel, but I just feel like in this environment with COVID and I don't mind debating it on town meeting floor. I just think that it will be irresponsible for us to do it during a COVID epidemic. So if we do not have an opinion, I don't think we should move forward.
No, I agree with that.
This is the East Harwich Cemetery you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
The
that's
Methodist.
gravestones, which is unfortunate because some of those gravestones might not make it another year. So
Yeah,
I'm sad about that, but I think we have to look at what's fiscally responsible for everyone involved. I don't want to be drawn into another debate over ownership of another cemetery.
right. Well, we've been in there, we've maintained it for, all these years, over 50 years. So, we've been in there doing things.
So
Nobody's
actually,
ever questioned.
I found documents back to 1939. So
Yeah,
we've been maintaining it for quite longer than I thought. So
yeah, I agree with you.
but we'll have to see. We'll let it play out another week or so, and then we'll revisit
Do
it.
we have to wait the whole year, or could we put some kind of just notice in for a delay of start until this is all straightened out?
No, we would have to wait till next October to resubmit. So every October we resubmit articles.
Okay. Then we get the Etsy property.
So we did discuss this last meeting, and you guys were able to review the rules and regulations, and I know that everyone's been able to go down there and give it a little tour. And we did discuss about the tree and his, the son does not want the monument. He doesn't want the tree to come down.
Right.
And I think we did discuss that. I think it was Rob maybe who said that her grave marker should stay on her grave. Was it Rob? Or maybe it was Cindy.
Yeah, I said that. It needs to stay on whoever is buried beneath.
Right. So, I mean, we could move, and I think we did discuss it. We could move it up next to the rock. That's why I enclosed all the pictures for you guys. So if we moved it from here and moved it all the way up to the rock, then it wouldn't be in where the tree
In
is.
the roots.
Right. And it would be beside it, which then the mowers could just go around it again.
Right.
I think that would be the only spot, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
a little bit, what of this grave?
I
Yeah,
think if you moved it up even a couple feet, I think it would just happen again. I mean, we don't want to cut the root of the tree. And,
no. Now, Chris, do you have Blue look at that just to see what could be done?
Yeah, he was like, you should take out the tree. I was like, well, they don't want the tree to come out. He said it's probably going to continue to happen, even if they put a stone on the second grave over. He says that one eventually probably will have the same issue. So there's nothing you can do. The tree's going to continually grow and the roots are going to continually get bigger.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I don't know what you guys want me to write up for a recommendation for these people, but
Probably move it to the foot. Now, there's not, it wouldn't benefit anybody to have an arborist look at to see what they could do for as far as root pruning something.
I don't think so. And I think they, I mean,
Yeah. It's going to keep putting out roots.
going to hire an arborist to go in there and look at it, but then it's going to be another expense. It's going to delay it even longer. And I know that they want to do this burial. So I think we just need to make a decision.
So I say we just move that stone to the foot of the grave because we'll be out of the way of the tree for quite a while, I think.
Yeah, it will be.
Definitely.
And kind of cutting down a beautiful tree in an arboretum is.
Yeah, it goes against the whole grain of stuff.
And the son really wants the tree. I mean,
Yeah.
his mother loved that tree and he wants the tree there. So I think that we should honor her wishes. It is their lot. So, I mean, this is just a future generation of this family. And I think the original people should be honored.
Yes.
Mhm.
So do we need a motion to have the stone moved?
Yeah. So we need a motion on a couple things. So the first is about the stone move. So we're gonna, Steve, you're gonna make that motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to move the stone for that one spot to the foot of the grave to avoid the roots. Do I hear a second?
I second it.
Okay, I can hear it. Kieran's going to.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then the other thing they want to do is add more markers to it.
Correct. So it looks like they are requesting, they eventually want to add 6 more urns, I think. Right?
Yep, that's what it showed in the
Proposed
picture.
burial site, 6 urns, right?
Yep.
So they want to know how they can memorialize these additional 6 burials.
Well, it says in the rules, we can't put more stones than what they have on there already.
Right. So you guys did look at the monument and there is a flat side to the monument. They could have fixed something to that.
Yep.
They do have one space open, which is where Noreen is buried in 1993. So one could go there, but you know what? It's right next to where the tree is. So that's only going to get lifted up again. So, I mean, I think no matter what happens there, I think they should go for the memorialization on the larger memorial that's in the middle.
Yeah.
I think it makes the most sense for them and for this lot because of the tree. So,
Yeah, because they could almost put this picture layout right on the memorial they got there and name the other people, so.
they could. So is somebody going to make a motion to?
I'll make a motion that they can memorialize the people with a placard on the side of the main stone, main memorial,
I'll second it.
whether it be to the side or on the back somehow, so.
Okay. Is it a unanimous vote?
Yes.
Yes.
All righty.
That way it'll stay in within the regulations and maintain some kind of continuity with all the other sites like this.
Yeah, correct. And they're able to do 6 additional burials on those full body burials, which gives the family all the burial spaces that they need.
Okay.
So what I did was I typed up a little cheat sheet for you guys for all the articles for Maytown meeting. So our first article that will be presented at Maytown meeting is it's article number 29. It's the community preservation articles that are under $50,000. And if you look at the very bottom of, actually the top of the second page, you'll see it's the phase 1 of 2 of the Veterans Memorial Circle at Evergreen, which is for $48,385. This article was unanimously supported by every single committee that it went before. So it was unanimously supported by the Recreation Commission, unanimously supported by the CPC, the Board of Selectmen, and I'm pretty positive FinCom. So I didn't watch the FinCom vote on that one. Maybe I can't remember, but it was, every single person no one has any objections to this. And I feel like this is going to be a great asset to this town.
Yeah, nice.
And I think once we get rolling with our donation letter for the memorial for the Civil War veterans, which Rob, my book was returned to me yesterday.
Oh, there you go.
Lost my Civil War book.
Very good.
I had left it at an appointment and I kept calling. I was like, I need the book. So I can finish up all of our Civil War soldiers. And then, so the second one is article number 30, which is the East Harwich Methodist Church gravestone project, which we've already discussed, but we will return and probably visit that at our next meeting. And then the annual department revolving account, which is article number 42, which is our cemetery revolving account, which is for $100,000. So those are the 3 articles along with the budget for this department. So if you guys are attending, I'm sure most of you will be attending town meeting. You'll know where our articles are sitting. Unless they change it or add or delete, the numbers should stay the same.
Okay. Then we get the update on the Bank Street Cemetery.
Yes, so I had emailed Griffin, which is probably in the packet, but I'm not quite sure where I put it, but I emailed him 4 different questions. So I'll just go through the questions now. So did you write a letter to the abutters of the Bank Street Cemetery encroachment? No, he hasn't. He hasn't had time to get to writing that out. I think he wanted to ask the attorneys some legal language for that. So he's going to get back to us on that, what the letter needs to say, and then he will be submitting it out with the map. I'm sure the abutters are well aware of the encroachment because she was out there when I went out there to meet with the guy to look at about enclosing the fence out there, which we can't move forward until we address all the vegetation on our property. Then second, I asked him about the quotes for the Arboretum software. I have reached out to a whole bunch of new companies that will be bidding this week on the Arboretum software. I'm very excited. Zudi is actually going to have a conversation with me later today at 1 o'clock to go over the specs. And then I had another company that is from Dennis that called that is interested in doing that, and SemSites, and I think there was one more company. So I will be I did do the pre-procurement checklist sheet with him, and I have to have my 3 vendors bids. Well, I'll go over it with him and Megan, and then we'll proceed from there. Hopefully we'll get that come rolling along. Then I asked him about the bid documents for the Pine Grove gravestone conservation, which has to go out to public bid, and that has to be sealed bids because of the amount of money that is in that article. So he did send me that packet late last night. I am going to review all of that, and I will discuss that with at our department head meeting that I have next. And that should be going out on Monday, I believe. And then the final thing was about the entrance of the Island Pond Cemetery. So I know that Steve has been down there. I don't know if Rob or Cindy has been down there. But when you go into the entrance of Island Pond, the first thing you see is that wall. And the wall is, the stones are falling off of the front of that wall. It's very difficult for our the larger hearses to get in there now, as well as the DPW trucks, because of how narrow the entrance is coming and going. 2 cars cannot pass. And if we straightened out the roadway there, it comes to a point, and put in a new wall. I kind of want to put the wall back and maybe put on a protective layer, like the wall that we have at the entrance of Evergreen. I did meet with Warren Nichols down there, who was on our commission before, and he did draw the specs originally for the Evergreen wall to put out to bid, and he wouldn't mind doing that again. I think we should put it on next meeting's agenda. And then what I'll do is I will have Griffin give me the layout of the road and what is possible. And if we want to put the wall back up. But I think we really need to widen the entrance for people coming and going. If I have a funeral coming in and somebody's in the cemetery, they cannot get out because you can't pass, 2 cars cannot pass. So they have to wait until all of the traffic's in order for them to leave. There's a lot of wasted space there at the entrance, and I think if we just move it out a little bit, we could have 2 cars easily being able to come and go at the same time. So he's said he's gonna, he would like to meet with the DPW and me, and maybe if the commissioners would like to go down as well, just to talk about what is possible to do at that entrance. But I think it would be nice if we could look at doing that sooner than later, and moving back the wall. That might have to wait till later on this summer, which I'm perfectly fine waiting for, but I think it needs to be addressed at some point.
Mm. Yeah, something needs to be done there.
Yeah. So that's it for the Bank Street Cemetery, and I actually touched a little bit on other stuff that's a little bit further down. So, which is the procurements with Megan and Griffin. And let's go to the Memorial Circle formal letter, which Rob was nice enough to draft and send to all the commissioners. I don't know that we need to read it into the record right now. It is, unless, Rob, unless you want to.
Well, if we need, I have it right here, but that's a good 3-minute read if you want.
I think you did a nice job on the letter.
I'm sorry?
I think you believe you did a nice job on that letter.
Oh, thanks.
You did. So the letter is to help us get donations to defray the cost of the Civil War and Revolutionary War memorials that will be placed at the Evergreen Circle. So I did send out a letter to both the town administrator and to Carol Capola, who is our town in charge of all the town accounts, to ask them who the checks would be made out to. I'm sure it's to the town of Harwich, but I don't know if they have to put anything else on those checks so that they know that it's for this project. So we will be looking at sending out these letters to all of the different agencies that could help defray the cost. And I just think it's one way for us to be fiscally responsible for the CPC article that we'll be submitting next year, which probably will be a little bit expensive because we have so many, especially Civil War veterans that will be listed, and you have to pay by the letter to have those names put on the memorial. So I think whatever we can do to help along that project, I think is in the best interest of us as well as the town.
You could ask them about having just like a separate account
So it would go at like similar to what we do with the cemetery lot sales. We just have another account number that those funds get deposited in, so it's a separate. So we want to just make sure that gets set up in advance.
Maybe address checks to Town of Harwich, Veteran Circle, or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it gets verified. Do we want to do a Facebook page or social media like we
think
did
we-
for the Arboretum?
Yeah, I think we can do that as well. And I know that some of the other towns, and we'll address this when we do the CPC article for next year. A lot of the Veteran Circle have bricks or pavers around their flags, and people can buy a brick with a loved one's name. So maybe somebody was a Civil War veteran, but registered in Dennis, but then lived their whole life in Harwich. They're not going to be on our Civil War memorial, but they might want them represented, even though they're buried in our Harwich cemeteries, but they weren't registered as a Harwich Civil War veteran, so they cannot be on the memorial. Because
Okay.
we have quite a few of those.
Oh, I would think that, I can't remember the design off the top of my head, but I would think that a circle or a walkway with just donated pavers,
Yeah,
regardless of whether they're Harwich or not. I mean, I think a lot of veteran families and, extended families would be interested in contributing that way.
Definitely.
Nice,
and they don't have to be Revolutionary or Civil War. They could be any veteran.
right.
Right.
So I think that would be wonderful.
Sadly, there are many years of veterans that we could.
I know, and it'll never stop, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I just want to hurry up because we're going to run out of time. So the other thing is the survey of the Lily Pond and Wetland Delineation Report. I did put that in there, and I met with Amy Uzowski. There is an extensive form that I have to draft and get together for the Conservation Commission to go before them to remove some of the invasive species that are around the pond, as well as the wetland delineation that connects the Island Pond Cemetery with the conservation land. We want to make a walking trail that connects the two of them, but it goes kind of close to the wetlands. So we got to ask them for permission to do that. Right now, people are coming down the steep hill, and I think that's going to cause erosion. So I want to move the pathway slightly over to the left. Amy walked it with me, and she thinks that's the proper place for it. But because it's close enough to the wetlands, we still have to ask for conservation approval. So I'll be getting that report together and getting that application, and that will probably be on your next agenda item, your next month's agenda.
Okay. So we're still working on the rules and regulations. If you guys have been able to look over some of that, the other towns.
Yeah. I think it'd be a good idea to have a separate meeting, maybe, to
Okay,
really, to go over that.
okay.
Do
Yeah,
you?
I think so too. I think we should wait till after town meeting to go over the rules and regulations, because that's gonna be long in of itself. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on the Arboretum project, and I put in the tree tags. So this sheet's in your packet. I don't know if everyone can see it. So
Yep.
in here, it has the common name, scientific name. It's gonna have our description. And then on the right-hand side, it has sketches. A lot of the ones that are in this packet that I gave you were the USDA ones that we are allowed to use. They're for public use. But I have been getting back amazing sketches from a lot of the artists in town.
Right.
Those artists that will be sketching the leaves will have underneath the leaf, it'll be by whoever drew the leaf. So I know that Kim Connors is doing one. So she's gonna have her name will be on one of the placards. So there's a whole bunch
Just
of,
pick one, or do you assign them a leaf?
Kim picked hers. So people have picked them, and Marcy Ford did an amazing, I believe she did the ginkgo one. But I
Do
mean,
you remember which one she picked? Because I don't know if she does.
well, it's in this list, and her name is in there, so she can just review it. So
All
Kim,
right,
the Norway maple.
the Norway
Marcy-
maple? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Marcy picked the ginkgo tree and she already sent in her leaf. It is beautiful. And asked which other one she could do, but I've had other local artists email me in leaves and they look amazing. I had one up on my screen. I was going to show you guys. And so I'm going to turn my computer so you can see. So that is from one of our local artists. Can you see it?
Nice.
On my screen back here. Isn't that beautiful? So those leaves we used, that was from Christine Banks. And so those sketches will be used as leaf identification. One of the things that I talked to the local artists are, I would love to have one summer day, we'll have to pick a day, where we can have the local artists come in and the people who sketch the leaves maybe do some paintings in the cemetery so people can walk around and see them painting in there. And I've also met with a lady who's in there. She's a photographer and she's a wildlife photographer. She's been walking in there lately. And she's been taking a whole bunch of different pictures of the wildlife. And when I was leaving the cemetery the other day, I was chased down by, I don't know if you can see it.
Now you're gonna go back the other way.
No, you can see it. He's in the
In front
corner.
of your face.
Yeah.
So a deer came charging at me.
Okay.
He's running out of the cemetery. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get this. I gotta get this. Trying to get my phone out. So there is a lot of wildlife in there, and I think that people will be excited to see it. So she's gonna try to submit us some photographs that she's taken in there. She says she has an awesome one of our red-tailed hawk. So I'm very excited about that. I updated you guys with the price quote for the tree tags. Right now it's at $786.17, which I think is a bargain with all the information that are going to be put on these tree tags. I know that Russ Norton from the Cape Cod Cooperative Extension had volunteered to help me place the tree tags on the trees, as well as Amy. So we'll be placing those ourselves as soon as we get them in. And then finally in the packet, I have put in for you guys pictures that Rob took of the entrance so you can look at it. So if you look at the very first photograph, Cindy, you can look at the wall and you can see what kind of shape the wall is currently in. So the wall is looking a little rough.
Yeah.
And then the pillars on each side of the entrance. The one on the right-hand side was hit by the DPW plow last year, I believe it was last year.
Yeah.
And they had to re-cement the bottom of it. So it's literally, it's had so many different repairs done to it because it sits right on the edge of the roadway there that I think that needs to be addressed. I don't know if we can just move it back a little bit, but that's what I'm going to be meeting Griffin about, to talk about what our possibilities are for that entrance. You guys can look at those, and he did take a lot of good photographs of the wall, and you'll look, one of the ones near the end, you can see it's a side view of the wall, which is a very low wall anyways. It shouldn't be that expensive to put up a new one. And I'm sure the DPW could probably take the front face off and remove the material and get it ready for whoever's going to get the bid for that.
Hey, and Robin, my rock that I like, you know what I was thinking? You know where the conservation trails are going to come up by Island Pond?
Yeah.
We could move the rock over there as a kind of trail entrance to the cemetery.
Oh.
Good idea.
And then we don't get rid of the rock.
If we put the new sign there, then yeah, the rock could be moved to greet people.
Instead of getting rid of, sorry, it's a degree in geology that I've got. I just, got to care for the rock somehow.
Well, we're going to save that for the next meeting. I will be hopefully later today. Hopefully I'll scan in the bills and I will send those off to you guys to review. And then I had new deeds. I have 4 grave spaces to Judy Burnett. And then 4 to Rob and Cindy Thompson. So Rob cannot sign his own deed, so all 8 grave spaces were sold in Island Pond. So
Good.
I will type up these deeds, which I haven't even had a chance to do that as well. And I will let you guys know when you can come in and sign them. But
Okay.
hopefully, I just wanted to check, is everyone vaccinated on this board?
Yep,
Both.
I got both of mine.
Yeah, so we are all vaccinated, so I'm hoping we can all meet in person soon.
I would make going over the rules a lot easier.
I haven't seen everyone in so long. It'd be nice to be in the same room as everyone. I think it makes it a lot easier for our meetings. Although this has been convenient, thank God. I don't know who invented this go to meeting and Zoom stuff, but ingenious.
I have a question on the fence bill.
Yeah,
I
it
have
was
sent you-
it was already done, Cindy, when you sent that.
I don't know what they did because I went down and looked at it.
So I'm gonna send you the before and after photos. It ended up,
Did we pay the bill before it was done?
no, we haven't paid the bill yet. It's gonna be on this
Maybe
month.
that's a different piece of fence then.
So
I don't know, but anyway, we don't need to worry about it right now.
Yeah, I'll send it all. It's all in the packet
Okay.
with the bills. But
When we get to the new business, before we all sign off, I just want to ask a few questions.
all right, you got 4 minutes.
Are you on that, Steve, or,
Yep,
I mean, are we on that new business?
yeah, we could be, yeah, I believe we are.
Right.
Okay, go ahead, Cindy.
I just want to ask you, have you ordered the flags for the veterans?
So I don't order the flags. They come from Shawnee, and she does that.
From who?
Shawnee Carroll, our veterans agent. Like Will usually ordered them.
Oh,
So
okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Have you checked to make sure that that's been ordered?
I did talk to her about it the other day, but I'll confirm.
Okay, yeah,
We have more veterans this year because we found
Right.
a lot more when we were inventorying.
at least 1,200,
1,200?
because we've put out over 1,000.
Okay, perfect.
Just want to make sure on that. Do we have another sign in progress with Fancy besides the Arboretum?
Not currently.
No, okay, I thought so. Okay. And as far as the East Harwich Methodist Cemetery, I've
Yeah.
talked to a few people and they don't know what they're talking about the Union Cemetery. So before we do order a sign for there, we need to really make sure that I believe it's the East Harwich Methodist Cemetery. But
All right.
I want to just make sure that we do that so we don't put Union on there and then have them go, what is the Union Cemetery?
So
Anyway,
we got that from, so they've been giving me paperwork since I started this job. So
right.
it from,
Was it
for the
Carl?
last 17 years, all the paperwork that I ever received says Union Cemetery.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is it Carl Young that's doing that? Because I know
No, it was before Carl, actually.
who's giving you that information?
I can get that paperwork to you though, Cindy. I'll give you a whole
Okay.
copy. It's
Just
a
want to
pretty-
make sure, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. I just want to follow up on that. I'm all set. Thanks.
Can I just throw in real quick, Steve? We also need to do our inspections, or we're all going to get together and go visit all the cemeteries over a bunch of days, and it's getting beautiful out, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
We should jump on that.
We can make appointments to do that. That doesn't have to be, like, we can say we're going out on Wednesday at noontime. I mean, we don't have to do it like this type of a meeting.
Okay, here we can work on setting some stuff up.
Sure.
But dates are good for everybody, so.
If nobody objects, how about if I take a list of all of our cemeteries and try and pick a day, and like Island Pond is big, we'll have to do that by itself. Evergreen, big, we'll do
Well,
that.
I think we should, at the end of the next meeting that we have here, I think we should do Island Pond, just so you guys can see the entrance together. So we can do Island Pond that day as well. So I
Okay.
think, so we had originally picked April 27th as our next meeting date, which is before town meeting. So we can either do, so I can do the 20th now. I think, do you guys want to keep it on the 27th?
It depends if we're taking off that week or not. I don't know yet. I
Steve,
can let you know.
Can you just get back to me, Steve?
Yeah,
And so can both of you guys do either the 20th or the 27th?
Mhm.
And then whatever Steve picks, then I'll put it up and I'll send it right out to you.
okay.
Be
I
great.
just gotta check in with the boss, that's all.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Yep. I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 9 a.m.
So
Can
moved.
I have a second?
It's been seconded.
It's right by who?
Rob,
I second it, yeah.
Okay,
and
is it
Cindy's
unanimous?
nodding yes too, so,
Is it unanimous? Yes.
Unanimous.
yeah.
All right, you guys have a great day.
Thank you.
too.
See you at your meeting.
Take care.
Bye. Have a great day, guys.
Bye.